Thanks for staying here with us on News Central Television. I'm Joe Hanson, and here are the stories we're looking at this hour. Nigerian government blocks 83 billion naira protest funds, arrests political collaborators. President Tinubu signs bill to increase salaries of judicial officers by 300%. Africa CDC declares public health emergency amid Mpox outbreak. Do stay here as we bring to you the details and more. Let's begin by telling you that the federal government has identified at least 83 billion naira in cryptocurrency and fiat currency funneled into the recent nationwide protest. This sum includes $50 million in cryptocurrency, of which $38 million was frozen in 4 digital wallets. Additionally, 4 billion naira was contributed by various political actors in Abuja, Kano, Kaduna and Katsina. National Security Adviser Nuhu Ribadu disclosed this during a presentation at the inaugural Council of State meeting convened by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. According to multiple sources familiar with the Tuesday meeting, Ribadu, who spoke on the nationwide protest as it affects national security, also revealed that a European has been pinpointed as a mastermind behind the widespread display of foreign flags during the protests. The police will soon issue a warrant for their arrest. It was further gathered that local individuals involved in the conspiracy have been apprehended in Abuja, Kaduna and Kano. The Council of State has passed a vote of confidence in the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The council met at the State House in Abuja on Tuesday, the first since Tinubu became Nigerian president on May 29, 2023. Former Presidents Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari attended the meeting physically, while Yakubu Gowon and Abdulsalami Abubakar, former heads of state, joined virtually. However, former President Olusegun Obasanjo was visibly absent from the meeting. Meanwhile, Dele Alake, Minister of Solid Minerals, said Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, presented the security situation of the country.
And the National Security Advisor also was on hand to present the security situation of the country, and he did inform the Council of State, about the pre, during, and post events of the last protest, which I do not call a protest. I call a movement to effect a change of regime by force, which was also resisted. And so, the Council thanked Nigerians at large for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government. If anybody is not satisfied with the government, any current administration, there's always an election coming. So you wait for election and cast your vote the way you deem fit.
President Bola Tinubu has signed into law a bill that increases the salaries, allowances and benefits of Nigerian judicial officers by 300%. The Special Advisor to the President on Senate Matters, Bashir Lado, announced the development in a statement on Tuesday. Under this new law, the Chief Justice of Nigeria will receive an annual salary of 64 million naira. The President of the Court of Appeal will earn 62.4 million naira annually, and the Justices of the Supreme Court will be paid 61.4 million naira annually. Lado, a former senator who represented Kano's Central Senatorial District from 2011 to 2015, emphasized that President Tinubu is committed to enhancing the welfare of judicial officers and all Nigerians. Reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has criticized Governor Godwin Obaseki's administration for accusing him of impersonation and forgery. After news broke of Shaibu's return to office, the Edo State government alleged that he was impersonating the position of deputy governor, citing that the court judgment reinstating him had been appealed, with a stay of execution obtained. The government also accused Shaibu of attempting to destabilize the administration and incite chaos. In response, Shaibu's chief press secretary Musa Ebomiyana condemned the Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehikare, for the impersonation claim. Ebomiyana said Nehikare's remarks were an affront to the judiciary and a blatant violation of the valid court order issued on July 17. And still staying with political news, especially this time in Rivers State, the reinstated chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Emeka Bekee, has reaffirmed his leadership and announced the party's participation in the upcoming October local government elections. This directly contradicts the stance of his predecessor, Tony Okocha, who had challenged the polls in court. During a meeting of the Inter-Party Advisory Council in the state, Bekee emphasized the need for political stability in Rivers State. In the meantime, the IPAC chairman has called for the prosecution of those responsible for attacking the Action People's Party office and demanded the immediate withdrawal of police from local government secretariats.
Tony is not in charge. We speak with us on Thursday, and I already told the Secretary to send out this to the Assembly members who already joined the party to come with the party for this
Chief Emeka Bekee, declaring him the authentic chairman of APC Rivers State. This victory for democracy and for rule of law is an indication that the court indeed is the last place of hope for the common man. We make bold to reassure RISEC of our readiness for the October 5th local government elections in Rivers State. We are committed to ensuring that the elections are conducted in a peaceful and transparent manner. We therefore demand that the RISEC put in place modalities and ensure that these elections are.
Let's also tell you that the Rivers State House of Assembly has confirmed Ahuada West-born Samuel Eyiba and 4 other commissioner nominees who appeared before it for screening on Tuesday. The 4 others are Elamu Arugu, Abua Odual, Dr. Roland Obed-White of Tegama, Samuel Anya, Abia State, and Austin Emeka Nandozie Eche. Their confirmation was sequel to the letter sent by the State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to the Speaker, Victor Okojumbo, to determine their suitability as members of the State Executive Council. With the confirmation of the commissioners designate following a voice note of members after a heated debate, the Speaker, Victor Okojumbo, directed the clerk to convey the resolution of the House to the Governor for possible swearing in as members of the State Executive Council. Earlier, Tamuna Williams, a legal practitioner, joined us on the news to share his perspective on the development.
Which is fundamental is that governance is a serious business. It's not a matter that people can just handle as though it is a ping pong. Even in the Bible, we're enjoined to submit to the authorities because they are put there by government. Now, I'm happy that the governor of Rivers State has actually come down to the basics, which is to ensure that he populates the State Executive Council, and then move on to ensure that every paraphernalia of government is manned by people who are competent and have the capacity to work and deliver on the dividends of democracy for Rivers people. But essentially, it goes to show that in spite of all the twists and turns, all the mischievous actions by persons, in and out of Rivers State, the governor is right focused on delivering on his campaign promises and ensuring that there is stable.
You're watching news now. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll bring to you more stories. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Speaker Emmanuel Emerua has finally inaugurated Aaron Uzodike as member representing Abia North State constituency, 8 months after the Independent National Electoral Commission presented him with the certificate of return as a duly elected lawmaker. The Court of Appeal had ruled in favor of Uzodike of the People's Democratic Party, sacking Destiny Nwagu of the Labour Party since November 2023. Several calls to inaugurate Uzodike after the appeal court ruling fell on deaf ears, as the leadership of the House cited legal reasons for not performing that assignment. Aaron Uzodike's inauguration as a legislator brings the number of the People's Democratic Party's members to 12.
To God be the glory. I sincerely want to start this way. I want to thank the Almighty God who has made today possible. I also want to thank the governor. I also want to thank the speaker and members of this house. Delay is not denial. It's better delayed than none. So today, history has made itself. I think that the end justifies the means. Obviously, I thank God for everything. Yes. So my people have not lost anything. If there is anything they are lacking, now that I'm here, they will definitely rise again.
The annual Women's Conference in Abia State, popularly called August Meeting, has become an avenue to give back to the society by the women, exchange of ideas and assistance to women and communities. The August Meeting holds on different dates within the month of August in the various communities in Igbo land, Abia inclusive. The wife of Abia State Governor Priscilla Oti organizes the summit in the state capital Umuahia to support the women in their endeavors. News Central's Chinwe Ugele examines the importance of these meetings within the communities and beyond.
This women conference either heralds the August meetings for communities in the state or signals the close of the meetings. Every August, the wife of the governor of Abia State invites women from various localities to the capital for education in any particular area of interest and empower the indigents to boost their businesses.
The 2024 August Women's Conference theme is Abia Women Rise to Win, meant to expose the limitless powers and strength of the Abia women.
Wife of Abia State Governor Priscilla believes that women make a lot of sacrifices to support their families.
Many have been lifted by your optimism, especially in these difficult times. Thank you for believing that everything will turn out good, which is why you wake up earlier than everyone else and remain awake even when others have not fallen asleep.
Governor Alex Oti and Commissioner for Women Affairs, Blessing Felix, say women play pivotal roles in shaping the society.
At a time of serious economic difficulties such as this, the managerial capacity of our women has proven very useful in the survival of many families. Today, therefore, provides us a great opportunity to say thank you to our mothers and wives for keeping us from sinking, for always offering reliable life jackets.
This conference provides a unique opportunity for us to engage in critical discussions, empower ourselves, and network and also collaborate.
Beyond the glitz and glamour associated with August meetings, the women are resourceful and supportive to their immediate communities in different ways.
Okay, like during August meeting in my community, we help the less privileged, the widows particularly. Then we normally have something for the community, either giving out chairs to schools, school books, or grading of roads. We go to various villages. Women have built health centers. In my own village in particular, we women built our own health centers and we are still maintaining it.
August meeting now. At least someone in this teacher, the number. Now, they are together. They assume one in the village. Here, Hamotara from Ebe number.
The Women August meeting has come to stay, even as it has improved with time in content and purpose across Igbo land. In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Stakeholders at the just concluded international conference to end colonialism in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, have expressed displeasure at presence of several colonized territories around the world. This was during a conference hosted by the Society for International Relations Awareness, where they called for the independence of these territories. News Central's Joshua Imarayi completes the report.
The International Conference to End Colonialism
hosted by the Society for International Relations Awareness, has brought global attention to the present issue of decolonization. Under the theme The Forgotten Peoples Decolonizing the World, participants at the conference say there is an urgent need for collective international action to ensure all societies remain free with an aim at achieving true global liberation for all.
As long as any people remain not free under colonialism, none of us can consider ourselves free. So the freedom of all oppressed people or colonized people is paramount, because without it, it really endangers international peace and security. We really have to organize to make sure that those territories still under colonial rule or not self-governing must regain their independence as soon as possible.
When a man is enslaved, it's a problem because he's owned by another human being. So when a country is enslaved by another country, it's also a problem. So you can never, adjustments can never end unless people determine what they will do. If there are 61, non-self-governing territories in the world, and you have 17, 18 by the UN, at least let us see how many of them can be decolonized in the next 4, 5, 6 years.
With just 17 out of 61 territories recognized, stakeholders at the event urged the United Nations to wrap up its efforts, advocating for increased support to empower the remaining territories to achieve self-rule. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Business activities have picked up again within the Jos Bukuru metropolis in Plateau State following further reviews of the imposition of the curfew by Governor Caleb Mutfwang. The state governor had on Sunday, August 4, imposed a 24-hour curfew on the metropolis in consultation with security agencies in the state to contain the unrest by some youths who hijacked the peaceful #EndBadGovernance protest. News Central's Chizoba Nyonwe tells us more.
It is no longer news how peaceful the #EndBadGovernance in Nigeria protest went in Plateau State, despite the fact that some hoodlums took the opportunity to cause mayhem in some parts of the Jos Bukuru metropolis. The timely intervention of security agencies led by troops of Operation Safe Haven contained the violence. Commander of the Special Task Force, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, was impressed with their show of professionalism and commended them at the operations headquarters in Jos after they were pulled out from the troubled areas as calm had been restored.
201 soldiers formed up for Operation Peaceful Nation Degree. The eye of mission stand.
Residents of the metropolis commended the governor for the proactive measure of imposing the curfew. However, it wasn't a palatable venture, noting the unexpected action.
There are people out there, if they don't go out for their daily businesses, they cannot eat. So this curfew has really affected everybody one way or the other.
I just want to appreciate the governor for being proactive, that things did not escalate beyond what it has been.
That's wickedness, gross wickedness as far as I'm concerned. They're supposed to help people and make things better for the masses especially. But they just put curfew. They not even provide us with any food. They say we should stay at home like goats.
These residents feel that the curfew should be entirely lifted owing to the bad economy and hardship experienced in many quarters.
Some of us will buy food in mudus. We buy one mudu every day. And with the little money, we'll go to do business and come back and buy food and go home with the food. We don't do business. How do you expect us to eat? So please, if the government will help us and lift this curfew off, we will appreciate.
He should just lift it. Let's just be free, work on free land and do our business freely. I'm just praying to God that all these things should stop because it's affecting everybody. We are not finding it easy at all.
For now, residents are freely going about their lawful businesses, hoping that the curfew further reviewed to begin from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. daily be lifted for normal life to return again. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Examination Bodies on Tuesday grilled the head of National Office of the West African Examination Council, Nigeria, Josiah Dangote, over a 6 billion naira deficit the agency incurred in 2023 during an investigative hearing. Dangote was accompanied by the Acting Director of Finance, Shegu Jerume, WAEC Senior Deputy Registrar Victor Odu, and Registrar Agnes Okeleze. The committee also questioned the examination body on a 5 billion naira loan it had taken out in 2022 to buy personalized calculators. Dangote presented the agency's cash book to the committee, but they rejected it, insisting on the submission of the agency's bank statements. Following unsatisfactory responses from the WAEC representatives, the committee resolved that WAEC must submit all its bank statements from 2018 to the present within a week. Earlier, Dr. Peter Ogudoro, an education consultant, spoke to us on the news.
WAEC, because WAEC is a public institution, and the parliament has a responsibility to ensure that the fund that makes them do what they have been established to do is judiciously deployed. And so they have a responsibility to keep proper books, and when those books are asked for, being a public institution, I do not think that is out of place for the parliament to insist that required documents are presented to them, because they are representatives of the people, and we have to be sure that the taxpayers' money and revenues accruing to us as a country from other sources have been judiciously utilized to serve the people. Aware, however, that WAEC is also a body that has some state governments owing it monies associated with exams that they booked for, which they have not paid for. So I won't be surprised to discover at the end of the day that the deficits that we are debating might have something to do with the fact that WAEC has debtors who have behaved irresponsibly.
Motorists in Nigeria's capital Abuja have expressed frustration over the unavailability of fuel and the hardship being experienced in trying to buy the product. They said the queues, which resurfaced before the #EndBadGovernance protest, have persisted and called for urgent intervention to cushion the effect of the hardship on many citizens. Our correspondent Idong Joseph spoke to some of them.
The resurfacing of fuel queues in Nigeria's capital a few weeks ago is gradually becoming a norm as motorists spend hours in long queues just to buy fuel. This experience for many motorists within the city center is also shared by those around the satellite communities where several productive hours are wasted on long queues, which impacts negatively on businesses.
It was yesterday. Somebody bashed my car on a fuel queue, and here I am again. I'm from the hospital.
I can't be here for over 2 hours trying to buy fuel and still yet nothing. I've not even bought fuel. I'm not even sure if I will still buy fuel.
I cannot really tell why we should have a product in the country and at the same time we are suffering.
With prices differing among the few petrol stations that have products to sell, some motorists say the situation is becoming unbearable for them. They call on the government to intervene and resolve the crisis.
Before I used to buy full tank, 9,500, I will fill my tank. But this, if I buy a full tank now, you have to be like 49,000, 50,000 naira. How much are they paying me? How much am I making? I will have to buy for 50,000 naira.
It has not been easy. You come to fuel station where you can walk to just in space of 5 minutes and you get what you want. But now you'll be there 1 hour, 2 hours.
We have individually spoken. People have been talking. Last week, we just concluded a nationwide protest. And yet, we have not had anything reasonable from the president.
They also call on the government to address the hardship citizens face.
If you look at the way and manner people come out for the protest, you know, definitely the situation is tough for everybody. We are appealing to the government that they should come to the rescue of the populace.
They should listen to the masses and see what the demand of the masses is. Then let them channel their effort towards that.
While many players in the oil value chain have blamed the End Bad Governance protest for being responsible for the long queues, many will be hoping that with the protest now over, motorists can move into petrol stations and get products freely. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idonk Joseph.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has clarified its decision to divest its 7.2% stake in the Dangote refinery. In a recent interview posted on YouTube, NNPC's Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Shoneye explained that the corporation opted to relocate its investment towards projects across the country after recognizing that compressed natural gas is a more affordable and sustainable energy alternative for Nigerians. Shoneye also emphasized that NNPC had no involvement in any sabotage of the Dangote refinery, noting that it would be counterproductive for the corporation to undermine the plant. He pointed out that NNPC is a significant shareholder in a 650,000 barrel per day petrochemical facility with a substantial investment of billions of naira. The management of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has refuted claims that it has fixed the price of premium motor spirit. In a statement, Group Chief Branding and Communications Officer Anthony Chejina dismissed reports suggesting the refinery would sell petrol at 600 naira or 650 naira per litre. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria had expressed hope that the refinery would lower petrol prices similar to its impact on diesel. However, the refinery has clarified that it has no business dealings with Ipman and has not discussed petrol pricing with the association. In a bid to strengthen the domestic economy and support local refineries, Nigeria's Minister of Finance has convened a strategic meeting aimed at implementing the presidential directive mandating the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to sell crude to local refineries in naira. The meeting, which held in Abuja, brought together stakeholders including the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, and the Chairman of Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service. The discussions focused on long-standing challenges in the petroleum sector, with those in attendance expressing optimism that the initiative will empower local refineries, stimulate economic growth, and redefine Nigeria's petroleum landscape. In a nation where the hum of mosquitoes can be a death sentence, a long-awaited solution has sparked both hope and fear. For decades, malaria has plagued Nigeria, but a new vaccine offers a promising breakthrough. Yet, as the rollout approaches, mounting fears threaten to overshadow the progress. News Central's Adeshewa Odushoga investigates the controversy surrounding the malaria vaccine in this report.
For decades, malaria has loomed large over Nigeria, inflicting a devastating toll on the country, with Nigeria accounting for a staggering 31% of global cases. The disease has left a trail of suffering and death in its wake. In 2023, hope appeared on the horizon when the World Health Organization approved two groundbreaking vaccines, RTS AS01 and R21 Matrix M. While this breakthrough was met with global optimism, Nigeria's anticipation has been tempered by rising unease. Concerns have emerged about potential health risks associated with RTS's vaccine. Nigerian Dr. Philip Njamanze has voiced urgent concerns writing to the National Assembly about the vaccine's safety and ethical implications.
After the first 2 years, the incidence of malaria actually rises, it doesn't decrease. So the result is far less impressive. Then there was even more troubling data. When you look at the data for the female participants, you will see that there was a higher mortality in female subjects.
In response to these allegations, News Central TV contacted the Director General of NAFDAC for a reaction. During a phone conversation, the director stated that the RTSS vaccine is not currently in Nigeria. Central to the controversy is the vaccine's potential side effect, cerebral malaria and cerebral meningitis, both which are severe and life-threatening conditions that have heightened public anxiety.
Some of these things you need to go through various, laboratory processes so that we as Africans to be able to be sure that by taking these such vaccines or taking some of these vaccines, it is not going to affect.
It would have been a good thing if there's vaccine and it's genuine, but it needs to be subjected to thorough scrutiny.
As the debate over the malaria vaccine intensifies, one thing is certain: the health and safety of Nigerians must remain paramount. Will the government prioritize caution, or will the drive for progress prevail? The nation holds its breath, awaiting a decision that could impact millions. In Lagos for News Central, Adishawa Odushoga.
In recent years, Lagos is one of the many Nigerian states with a high vulnerability to climate change. This vulnerability is mostly revealed by extensive damage during flood incidences and storms. With the dramatic shift in weather patterns that has been experienced in recent years, News Central's Bettina Willie tries to give perspective to the intense heat wave in February and the surprising coolness of the weather since July.
In February, Lagos experienced an unusual severe heat wave. This period of extreme heat saw temperatures soar well above the historical averages, often reaching highs of 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Residents faced unprecedented discomfort in going about their daily activities. Schools and businesses had to adapt to harsh conditions, with many people taking extra precautions to avoid heat-related illnesses.
I don't sleep in the night just because of this heat. But what I do is I hydrate. I try as much as possible to drink a lot of water, just so I'll be able to cope with the heat.
This heat is too much. It's too much. This one, no food, nothing, but the heat don't come to die.
Fast forward to July, and the heat wave in Lagos suddenly changed to an unusual drop in temperatures. While July is typically one of the cooler months due to the rainy season, this year brought a refreshing and unexpected coolness, much more than is usual for the time of the year.
I love it because I eat it. It's been a while since we've had this weather, and I will not lie to you, I like the weather. It should just continue like this for the next 1 year.
The cooler conditions since July might seem like a relief, but they are part of a broader pattern of climatic instability. Changes in weather patterns, including unusual cold spells, are often linked to shifts in atmospheric circulation and ocean temperatures.
When you see Lagos for some time, you see there is rainy season in some area is not raining. So what are the main causes of this is because of the development and the rising of greenhouse gas emission that is affecting the environment itself. We need to start to look at Lagos, the excessive heat in Lagos and the exceptional low temperature are probably caused in part of the issue that we say climate change. I think NIMET and some other related agencies need to now start looking at an accurate, even not really accurate, an accurate modeling that can actually help us in the issue of our temperature scenario in Lagos.
The contrasting weather patterns observed in Lagos highlights the complexities of climate change. While the heat waves remind us of the growing intensity of global warming, the cooler spells underscore the unpredictability of our changing climate. As we look ahead, it's crucial for Lagos and other regions to adapt to these changing conditions. Understanding and preparing for such extremes will help mitigate their impacts and improve resilience in communities. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Very interesting reports there. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring to you more news here on News Now. And thanks for joining us again. Human Rights Watch has demanded to know the whereabouts of a Cameroonian social media activist, urging his release amid fears of an enforced disappearance. according to the rights group. Steve Akam, known on TikTok as Ramon Coulter and based in Gabon, appeared handcuffed alongside Cameroonian police in a video posted online in mid-July. Akam, who has lived in neighboring Gabon for 10 years, has not been seen since. In a statement, Human Rights Watch claimed it had reached out to sources in Cameroon and geolocated and analyzed the video and concluded that it was filmed between July 19 and July 21 at a border crossing in the Cameroonian town of Keosi. It added that Cameroonian authorities have yet to respond to inquiries from Akam's legal team regarding his whereabouts, effectively depriving him of legal protection. A Ugandan court has convicted a former commander of the notorious Lord's Resistance Army of multiple counts of crimes against humanity in the country's first war crimes trial. Thomas Koyelo faced 78 charges related to atrocities committed during the LRA's brutal two-decade insurgency. These charges included murder, rape, torture, pillaging, abduction, and the destruction of settlements for internally displaced persons. Although Koyelo was acquitted of 3 murder charges, his conviction marks a significant milestone in Uganda's pursuit of justice. The LRA's campaign of terror resulted in over 100,000 deaths and the abduction of 60,000 children, with its violence extended into Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the Central African Republic. The African Union's health watchdog has declared a public health emergency in response to the escalating Mpox outbreak across the continent, calling it a clarion call for action. The outbreak has affected several African countries, notably the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the virus previously known as monkeypox was first identified in humans in 1970. As of August the 4th, Africa's Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data reports 38,465 Mpox cases and 1,456 deaths in Africa since January 2022. This marks the first time the Addis Ababa-based agency has utilized the Continental Security Authority granted to it in 2022. The declaration aims to galvanize funding and resources to effectively combat the disease's spread.
Mpox has now crossed borders, affecting thousands across our continent. Families have been torn apart, and the pain and suffering have touched every corner of our continent. I declare, with a heavy heart, but with an unyielding commitment to our people, to our African citizens, we declare Mpox as public health emergency of continental security in Africa. This declaration is not merely a formality. It's a clarion call to action. It's a recognition that we can no longer afford to be reactive. We must be proactive and aggressive in our effort to contain and eliminate this threat.
And let's talk U.S. elections now. In a 2-hour discussion with Elon Musk on the billionaire's platform X, Donald Trump talked through familiar campaign themes such as legal immigration, rising prices, and climate change. The Republican nominee returned to the platform after he had his account suspended in 2021. For News Central, Afua Hagen, she has more on this.
Former President Donald Trump spoke with ex-owner and Tesla CEO Elon Musk for more than 2 hours Monday night after the conversation was delayed due to technical difficulties. Trump fielded friendly questions that steered him towards campaign talking points, while slamming Vice President Kamala Harris's stances on the economy and immigration, and talking about his views on various world leaders.
Well, I know Putin, I know President Xi, I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough, they're smart, they're vicious.
Trump's advisors said talks like this are meant to reach non-traditional voters, specifically first-time voters and low-propensity voters who don't engage in politics in a typical fashion, but who the campaign believes they can draw out to vote for Trump in November. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris has sought to maintain her campaign's momentum ahead of next week's Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will make his first solo appearance on the campaign trail today with remarks at a convention of federal workers. Former President Barack Obama is expected to deliver a primetime address on Tuesday of next week's Democratic Convention, according to people familiar with the planning. That makes for 3 presidents that delegates will hear from during their gathering in Chicago: Obama, former President Bill Clinton, and President Joe Biden, who will speak on the first night of the proceedings on Monday. For News Central, I'm Afia Hagan.
And in sports, head coach of Nigeria Premier Football League side Remo Stars, Daniel Ogumodede, has signed a contract extension in a move that sees him commit his future to the Sky Blue Stars until a 2027 year. Now, Ogumodede helped Remo Stars to a second-place finish in the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) for the second time consecutively and will be in charge of the Sky Blue on the continent for the 3rd time. Ijabol, as Ogumodede is fondly called, notched up 31 wins in 65 matches he executed in the top flight with Remo Stars. French Women's League side PSG Feminin have welcomed Nigeria Super Falcons star midfielder Jennifer Echegini to training with the Olympic Games in France. Echegini, who joined the French club just before the Summer Olympics after departing the Italian side Juventus, resumed training on Tuesday evening for the first time and met with the team and the technical crew. The 23-year-old, who scored 10 goals in 14 Serie A appearances for Juventus, would look to bolster Fabrice Abriel PSG side in the 2024-2025 French Women's League season. Let's tell you that Manchester United defender Luke Shaw has suffered a fresh injury setback and will miss the Red Devils' opening 3 games of the season. The England fullback has sustained a calf injury, which United say will keep him out until next month's international break. Shaw will actually now miss United's Premier League fixtures at home to Fulham and Liverpool, as well as their trip to Brighton. The 29-year-old could now be a doubt as well for England's Nations League matches against the Republic of Ireland and Finland next month, the team's first fixtures on the new interim boss Lee Carsley. Let's also tell you that Manchester United have signed Bayern Munich duo of Matej de Ligt and Nosare Mazzouri in a move that could cost nearly £60 million. De Ligt signed a 5-year contract and Mazzouri a 4-year deal, both with the option to extend for a further year. Mazzouri could be immediately called upon by United to deputise at left-back for the injured Luke Shaw, who is expected to return after the first international break when the Red Devils host Fulham in the Premier League on Friday. United have agreed to pay £38.5 million plus £4.3 million in add-ons for 25-year-old centre-back De Ligt, who was captain of Erik ten Hag's Ajax side that reached the 2019 Champions League semi-final. And that's all for the news for this hour. Let's take a look at our top stories once again. Nigerian government blocks 83 billion naira protest funds, arrests political collaborators. President Tinubu signs bill to increase salaries of judicial officers by 300%. Africa CDC declares public health emergency amid Mpox outbreak. You can send in your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on the screen and follow us on all socials at News Central TV. You can also watch News Central Television live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Evo TV and on YouTube. I'm Joe Hanson. Many thanks for watching.